What's up, folks? It's your boy Bob Hollywood here with another. Not for real, guys. What's up, folks? You see this riser? You know what that is. I mean, you've been watching these videos. You've been keeping up. The end of the month or the beginning of the month, whatever day this day falls on. But all of the reviews for the month of June have been completed. So in front of me are the 10 figures for the month of June that I think were the best. This was a little bit harder to do. I mean, it was a little top heavy, and I didn't know who was going to round out. But this is a very diverse month for me, at least in terms of brands. Like, I know the only thing that got repeated this month was Marvel Legends. That got repeated once. Everything else, different lines of figures. Not necessarily different brands. I mean, there's some Hasbro, there's some Mattel a couple of times, but different lines. So, let's get it started. Number 10. Waiting in the Wings, Wesley. Figure has no articulation in the hip, so he doesn't move that well. Good looking figure, very basic. Nothing wrong with this figure outside of his articulation, which is dated. That's every Angel figure that I've reviewed has had that basic, crappy articulation. But it's a guy in a suit, a guy in a tuxedo. Very versatile in the Bob Hollywood action figure world. So I'm going to go ahead and put him on his riser. I'm not going to slander him too much. We know what's up. Number 9. We're going to go ahead and get Grandma in here. Bam. Decent articulation. Not the greatest. Not bad articulation by any means of imagination. It's just she's a little clunky. So her articulation could have been better, but she's wearing a spacesuit, like armor, so it's forgiven. And there's a decent amount of paint on her, obviously no wash, but a decent amount of paint on her for a modern figure, and it's not saying a lot. But I'm gonna go ahead and put her up there. Number 8. This is a struggle. This Baloo. And I say this is a struggle because this Baloo could have very well been number 10 or number 9. But it's at number 8. And it's because I think aesthetically, it's a cool looking figure. Articulation, horrible. Just as bad as that Wesley's up there. But I think this is cool. It's a bear with a bomber jacket on and, you know, a little Mario cap and goggles. It's awesome. This is awesome. This is taking me back to my Tailspin, 90s cartoons days. Boom. Number 7. And again, this is a cheat. I'm the most familiar with this figure, and that is this wild card. And that's because, again, I've had other wild card figures. I just did not have other wild card figures reviewed. So I was like, oh, let me review this guy before he goes on the shelf. And that's where he'll go. He'll be a goon. He'll be a henchman. Ah, he's a little stiff there. There we go. Comes with me only reviewing one side of the figure. But yeah, nothing wrong with this figure. Possibly, I'll say possibly, probably the most articulated figure we did for the month. And that comes with some drawbacks, such as the toe articulation and the finger articulation, but not a bad figure at all. Not a bad figure at all. So that's number 7. I'm going to put him up there. He probably would have been higher if I had never, messed with that figure a day in my life. Number 6 is going to be Ian Malcolm. Second time Mattel's hit the ranking today. First repeat. This guy, basic figure. I mean, decent articulation. Nothing wrong with his articulation. He's just wearing all black. I think it looks like Jeff Goldblum. I don't remember if I got the glasses off. I don't think I want to if they can, because then I feel like they're in there snugly. Then they'll become loose. But yeah, this is just Jeff Goldblum. This is who's mad at a Jeff Goldblum action figure. I mean, his neck is a little wiggly, but yeah. Who's mad at a Jeff Goldblum figure? That's number 6. Number 5 is going to be with this Hatut Zaraze. And you can see I still have not added any heat or anything to his legs. His legs are a little wobbly. I just like that this... It could have gone either way with him and Jeff Goldblum's figure. But I just went with this guy just because. This is a Marvel legend. And I think it looks good. I like that bluish silver. I like the feet. I like the alienness of the head or the face. He's good. He just needs some heat. Whoops. He just needs some heat. And he might be the one that causes this to fall down this month. Number 4. And number 4 is a double-decker. You knew number 4 was going to be these guys. I mean, you might not have known that. But other than Samwise and me not getting his articulation down, we're just going to put him aside. We're just going to have Frodo represent. Even though I think Samwise looks better, I like Samwise's attire better. Frodo's articulation is on point. But that's both of them. I didn't separate. I mean, I had done that in the past. I did that in, I think, January with Panda and Clownface, but these two are together. I'm gonna keep these two rocking together. There are some blemishes, but it's a 23-year-old figure. It happens. It happens. Articulation on point. Like, Toy Biz was doing their thing, man. And he stands up, no problem. Number 3, and honestly, number 3, 2, and 1 could have all gone in any order. I'm only... man, it's hard to say. I'm going to give you Lifeline for number 3. I'm just going to go ahead with my gut. And that's just because her articulation is hindered. And I'm saying that knowing that there's another figure in the top 2 whose articulation is hindered. It could have gone either way. Like, I like her design. I like that the different greens. This is a beautifully designed figure. Probably the best designed figure we've seen so far. It's just that I'm caught up on that articulation, and that's why she's number 3. I feel horrible. I regret that already, because now I'm looking at the top 2 and I'm like, how could you do that? You're a monster. And does number 1 deserve to be number 1? Number 2, I'm just going to go with the order I have them sitting here. Number 2 is Sprite. The second I said that Lifeline was number 3 because of her articulation hindrance, I thought Sprite needs to be number 1. I let myself down. But I put Sprite at number 2. I had her in the number 2 ranking. She should be number 1. We gotta go with what we have here. She's the 9th figure I picked up, so that means she's number 2. I think this figure is damn near perfect for what it is. I mean, if you exclude who it's supposed to be, what it's supposed to be for, it's a well-made figure, decent paint, great articulation, looks good. It should be number 2. I mean, it should be number 1. But I'm going to go with my initial ranking and not my gut. And nobody fell. That's the first time ever. So that means number 1 is going to be Nessa. I know this makes me a hypocrite. Her articulation is limited too, just like Lifeline. Her hips do the same amount or less than Lifeline's. But I just gotta go with my gut. This is a beautiful figure. I just like the way she looks. More paint could have been on there, but I just like the way she looks, man. Sue me. I'm going with what I had the first time initially. As soon as I put all the figures in front of me, I was like, that's number 1. There's no question. And it wasn't until I got to number 3, Lifeline, where I doubted that, and I was like, I made a mistake. But I made it. That was the decision I made. Nobody has fallen. I'm not going to jinx myself. Nessa is number 1 for the month of June. I think the top 4, I think outside of the last 3 or the bottom 3, this is a great lineup. Jeff Goldblum's a little basic. It's cool. Tasha Zaraze, a little basic. It's cool. After that, it's cool. Wildcard is a great figure. I think that's the best articulated figure we have. Anyway, folks, I appreciate you being here. Hit that like button, hit that comment button, and write a comment. hit that subscribe button and click the bell for notifications. How about that? Holler at you later. Action figures speak louder than words.